But chat, the evolution of the COD Zombies ray gun boys. Let's see it. Let's do it. For Easter, you should do all the Easter eggs. Which ones though, chat?
And heavily fictional Call of Duty series was surprisingly humble by comparison.
And yeah.
It was a franchise that took real-world history and applied a dash of Hollywood.
I mean, dude, it's true. Call of Duty used to just be so crazy. And seeing the ray gun going through all these renditions, chat, this is going to be an exciting video. I'm excited to see from World at War to Vanguard, I guess, where the ray gun goes. But chat, do you think the Cold War has evolved in a good way or a bad way? That's my question to
to
you.
bring warfare to life in ways very few games had.
I think Cold War involved it so well.
2008's World at War,
and then Vanguard just did
amongst
nothing.
The metal and steel of the Second World War's most recognizable firearms.
Yep.
A single gun managed to rise above the
ray gun.
others.
I mean, it's so iconic. You can just see it in the outline, man.
Became one of the most iconic weapons in all of gaming.
That is so true.
Today, make sure to reload before.
Shout out to the ray gun, man.
Because we're going to be looking at the evolution of Call of Duty's ray gun.
Yes,
in
sir.
the comments, I encourage you all to let me know your favorite version.
It looks so good throughout all of the games, man. But I still think Cold War is my favorite version for sure.
Which ray gun is the most popular?
Cold War for sure, I think, is my favorite.
The video is appreciated.
But yeah, shout out to Late Night Gaming. The Vanguard one, man, chat, I won't lie.
The creation of the Nazi Zombies Horde mode for Call of Duty World at War was incredibly stressful. Management and Treyarch were absolutely against the mode, and thus much of its creation had to be done in secret by various employees as a skunk works project to avoid the ire of higher-ups. In spite of who they were working against,
Zombies was super underground when it first started, man.
That proved the leadership definitively wrong. This is a thing.
Rip to the fast reloading ray gun? Yeah, that was BO2, right?
It was during the development of the Nazi Zombies mode that one of Treyarch's modelers, Max Porter, wanted to show Jesse something. A lot of artists in game development have off-brand side projects that they work on for fun, so that the tedium of work doesn't rob them of their love for art. What Max Porter showed Jesse Snyder
that's true.
was
you always got to be passionate about something.
A science fiction ray weapon.
Hell
the model looked ripped right out of a classic sci-fi
really
serial,
does
look
like something made from another
and since many employees were contributing to Nazi zombies in any way they could,
that's my man. I met Brian Toohey, chat. If you guys remember, during the BO4 interview, I met Brian Toohey and asked him how he made the 9 trailer, dude. It was sick,
to brag or
Vanguard or BO4 any day, man.
So
Vanguard
this act of kindness from him was something really special. In order for the ray gun to come to life, though, it needed animations, audio, and visual effects.
Of course.
Audio director Brian Toohey agreed to make some sounds for it. Barry Whitney cleaned up some of the effects.
Brian Toohey is a legend, man. He made the choir for 9. He's always been around, bro. He is a legend.
This collaborative effort under the stress of the resentful higher-ups is what led to one of the most iconic weapons, arguably, in Call of Duty, the ray gun.
The ray gun, baby. That's what I love to see right there,
To understand the ray gun's role in the mode, you need to understand the original idea for Nazi zombies.
True.
The goal was to make the player feel trapped. Your play space
is actually
small,
fun. It's just really just the
out the
system
window,
that's scuffed.
shadowy zombies would be seen coming out of the mist and
I've really seen her play Vanguard. What's so bad about it?
Instantly
go check it out, man.
In a defensive
that's
mindset,
the problem,
and thus
go
the core gameplay loop forms itself. Keep the zombies out, or they'll kill us. Zombies would come in waves that were signaled by an ominous music cue, and each wave would feature more and faster zombies than the previous.
I agree, man. The World at War ray gun feels stronger also than a lot of the later versions.
For the first 10 waves.
Yeah.
But after that,
this gameplay looks
players
good. Why is
with
the
wave
gameplay
20
look
and
so
onwards
good
being
right
the
now?
point where a simple mistake could cause a zombie
and then it goes back to the 480p.
One of the keys to surviving into the round 20s lay in the ray gun's hands. It's a high-damage, explosive ray pistol that can repel most zombie attacks. Due to its explosive nature, it can't
most zombie attacks up until round 30
is the best way to weaponize the splash
in World at War.
As new maps were added to the game, the play spaces became larger.
Chat, what is your favorite ray gun? From what game?
The ray gun began to make
mine, I think, is Cold War. I have to say, Cold War's ray gun was my favorite.
And Verrucht.
World at War remastered gameplay. Yeah, it really looks.
It was something.
It's just on PC though.
To survive. But it was still
Cold War. BO1 ray gun looks clean though. I have to say, that's my favorite visual one.
And on the final map, Der East, its upgraded form, the Porter's ×2 ray gun, which was named after the Treyarch employee.
That Pap camo?
Jesse would leave Treyarch shortly after getting Verrucht off the ground, making sure to also leave the ray gun as an Easter egg in a campaign mission he worked on as his signature on the game, as the father of the beloved mode.
I think this is one of the most known Easter eggs of all time. One in the chat if you agree. As well as the Thunder Gun. The Thunder Gun campaign thing is like literally one of the most known like Easter eggs of all time, I think. Because those are real Easter eggs, not like these Easter egg quests that you get in COD Zombies. But dude, the Thunder Gun and the Ray Gun on World at War and Black Ops 1,
Development of COD Zombies mode is a story that's unfortunately been cleaned up in the last decade. Marketing tours for games like Black Ops 3 and 4 would have you believe that it was just this fun, quirky little project that employees would work on during lunch, with higher-ups worried, but ultimately supportive. It wasn't a fun little side project. It took hard work, all-nighters, and back-to-back months with no weekends off, all while having no official studio support and in some cases outright hostility from the higher-ups, who later claimed ownership of the mode when it was a smash.
Activision, Omega lol. Just get the biggest Omega lols out of the way for Activision right now. I mean, yeah, chat. It is so worth it to say that if Zombies was not around and they were trying to do it right now with the current Activision that we have right now, there'd be no fucking way it happened.
Smash hit. Absolutely what brought Nazi Zombies to life was the hard work and refusal to let a good idea die from employees like Jesse Snyder, Mike Denny, and Jimmy Zielinski that got Nazi Zombies over the finish line, and what made Max Porter's ray gun video game history. This is where it all started.
Oh yeah, bro. I mean, even the sounds were really good. For again, 2008, they made these sounds. Insane. And there it is, boys, the BO1 ray gun.
Next Call of Duty game, Call of Duty Black Ops,
the classic.
It took place in the 1960s as players found themselves in the midst of the Cold War.
I don't know a lot of people that like the BO2 ray gun.
Fully realizing
they're very similar though.
World at War began as a defensive horde mode, but here in Black Ops,
from what I see from gameplay, I can't see why it's that bad.
Were designed and more.
It's just because it's so bare bones.
Heavy,
I think that's really what it is.
Mode.
And there's not really
weapons
zombies.
Were brought back, such as the MP40.
It's more just
one of the
complete
weapons
objectives.
To survive the jump
like the gameplay
to the
loop is
1960s
bad.
Was the iconic ray gun. In this new game, it's a one-to-one port of the World
at that boy on
Kino into the Black Ops engine. It features the exact same animation set, which can cause it to stand out just a bit compared to the higher quality movement animations of Black Ops. If you're that kind of person,
the BO2 ray gun is really good. Is there any differences between the BO1 and 2?
Which is funny. Those are minor nitpicks, however, because the transition to the new engine was a good one. In Black Ops, the ray gun is as reliable as ever, being able to keep the player safe well into the round 20s and even 30s. It also prevents gas crawlers from exploding upon death and becomes even more valuable when combined with a perk drink that negates explosive damage, meaning the player can simply fire at their feet whenever they get surrounded. The color of its sights
it's more like Outbreak Wars,
time to time when you pick it up from the box. Due to the easier gameplay of Black Ops Zombies when compared to World at War, a good player would be easily able to outlive the ray gun's usefulness in the round 40s and above. This meant it was a weapon with a usefulness cap that was reached more often.
I mean, it's the best damage
weapon. It should be
said,
though, that the Black Ops 1 Zombies community recently had a bit of a ray gun renaissance when a player by the name of Strat developed a macro that lets the player rapidly fire the ray gun, turning it into something monstrously destructive. It's a valuable tool now for the high round community and remains an excellent box pull for those who just want to unwind.
It is literally the only way you get high round records on the old games, especially BO1. BO1 and even BO2. The ray gun is still the only best thing. Here we go, boys. BO2. That's what we love to see.
With Black Ops 2, the ray gun made a return.
I mean, it looks so similar.
Materials and thankfully,
I guess it has
animations.
new textures.
The timeless reload animation Zielinski created were kept.
I don't know, chat. You guys like the BO1 or BO2 ray gun more?
Aiming down the sights.
BO2 ray gun definitely has better.
Bring the ray gun's presentation in line with the
textures.
animation style
I can see it now, just by comparing.
Curiously, the ray gun's iron sights were changed, but beyond that, nothing really noteworthy to report.
So the
it
iron
remains
sights
as
I realized
that.
But
it should be noted that it's around this time when the
they're
ray
both
gun
very
to
similar
see a bit
though.
Of a dip in popularity.
And
in Black Ops 2, the double tap
it did have a dip.
Was modified to let players
double
fire
tap
2
came
bullets
through
at
with
once
the
from
bullet
all
guns.
ballistic weapons. This meant players were dishing out more damage than before, and this perk drink didn't work on the ray gun. When combined with the introduction of new, more powerful wonder weapons and upgrades,
basically
players were staying alive for longer than ever, with different weapons of their choosing. The ray gun was
what is the worst ray gun though?
For those
the
not
BO2 buried ray gun
though
was
so veterans,
nice.
The easier gameplay loop meant the
worst ray gun might be the Black Ops 4.
Often, it actually just hindered their ability to get points from kills. The ray gun wasn't shining quite as bright as it used to, But it all changed when Treyarch announced the Vengeance map pack, which was set to bring players the Zombies map, Buried,
the most
and
iconic
a new incarnation of the ray gun. The Ray Gun Mark II. The Ray Gun Mark II was
you guys like Mark
II
better than the
Mark
just
I? Before the DLC
I really
like
the
Zombies
Mark II,
community into a frenzy, frantically loading up the survivor
I
map
remember
and
this.
spinning the box in the hope of using the weapon early.
Such a big
Treyarch
deal.
hotfixed this very quickly and made the community wait. But boy, the wait was worth it. The Ray Gun Mark II is the complete opposite of its explosive older sister. It's a long-range, burst energy weapon with the ability to penetrate through zombie hordes, letting the player clear up to 20 zombies with just a burst or two. The frame of the weapon is an excellent spin on the classic ray gun, cleanly building off that iconic frame and coloration to craft something
I feel
that still looks like it belongs in the same technology.
I don't know if you guys agree with me, but the Ray Gun Mark III sometimes just doesn't even feel like a massive upgrade. It doesn't feel like a ray gun variation sometimes. It feels like more of a wonder weapon, whereas like the Mark II was literally the ray gun but burst fire, right? But the Mark III should have literally been something more like the Ray K, right? But I don't even consider the Ray K to really be ray gun material. You know? Yeah, I do like aesthetically the Ray Gun Mark II out of all of them. I think the most. The Mark II just looks fire.
And with a great reload animation to boot. I can't stress enough how great the Ray Gun Mark II is. It's charismatic and likable as a weapon, but there are some nitpicks. Mainly, a bizarre oversight from Treyarch. In first person, it's held with two hands, kind of like a submachine gun. But in third person, this long weapon is held more like a pistol. It's a funny oversight, but it's very easy to overlook. The Ray Gun Mark II's introduction to the game also came with a new look and color scheme to the classic Ray Gun, which it would adopt on the Zombies maps Buried and Origins, now being red and green as opposed to red and blue. It's also around this time when Treyarch updated the game's
Shut up, Mr. Dolly JD!
With a new ability for low-ranking players. If you keep buying Olympia ammo off the wall at low rounds, the game will just keep JD! As the maps grew more complex, the perks more powerful, and the players more lethal, the importance of the ray gun began to diminish. It's about now that the ray gun
and then by BL3, the ray gun was basically dead,
for itself as the zombie mode evolved and changed. But for right now, it was holding on. What are your thoughts on the ray gun of Black Ops 2? Do you prefer the blue or green colors?
It definitely was the start of the diminishing of the ray gun. Because I remember, like, chat, nobody's talking about the ray gun Mark I in Shadows of Evil or Horizon Drac. We're all just talking about how it sucks, really. Like, how it's not really, like, evolved with the game. But, I mean, Cold War fixed that, though.
Black Ops 3 was the first Call of Duty game from Treyarch on the then next-generation consoles, the Xbox One and PS4. It came with an updated version of their Black Ops 2 engine, supporting more advanced rendering techniques and fidelity. Its graphics and rendering techniques weren't nearly as advanced as the previous year's Call of Duty, but it didn't keep Black Ops 3 from looking pretty in its own right. Speaking of pretty, the ray gun made a return.
I'm going to say this. I think BL3 still to this day is the most beautiful Call of Duty game visually in terms of gameplay that I think I've ever seen. One in the chat if you agree. I think it looks better than Modern Warfare 2019. I think it looks better than Warzone and all that shit. It's still to this day a 7-year-old game, a 15-year-old game still looks the best. That's huge fucking cap. Name me a game that looks better on Call of Duty. Cannot tell you.
In the new Zombies mode with a new model and updated animations that have the operator reloading its batteries one at a time. I do have to say that the new animation set is just a tad sloppier looking and not quite as smooth, but nobody cares. It gets the job done.
I like the BL3 reload animation.
It's here where the seeds planted by Black Ops 2 unfortunately began to bear fruit. Black Ops 3 at the time of its release was the easiest of the Zombies modes, giving players a lot of control over the maps before launching into a game through its weapon kit system and game-breaking gobblegum system.
Not
Once in
game-breaking,
the new
but
double pack-a-punch system also meant that players could turn whatever weapon they desired into something that could instantly
IW actually did look good, but I think that the reason I didn't like IW as much is that game is too dark. Like, it's too hard to see on maps like Spaceland and Rave and all that. But, chat, I'm not gonna lie. Modern Warfare 2019, yes, it might look graphically more detailed, but on video and YouTube and live streams, it looks fucking trash. Not on live streams, but on YouTube for sure.
Zombies indefinitely. The ray gun of Black Ops 3 was a small fish in a big pond of powerful weapons and microtransaction-infused abilities. When combined with the already futuristic and science fiction aesthetic of Black Black Ops 3's weapon arsenal and locations, there was very little to make the ray gun stand out. Back in World at War,
you know what they could have done to the BO3 ray gun to make people love it again? This is the simplest thing they had to do, chat. Listen to me. All they needed to do was make double pack-a-punch for the ray gun, but it's unique to the ray gun. So the ray gun, if you double pack it and punch it, gets like different bullets or some shit. Or it's like, you know, it's like 5 different abilities, but solely for the ray gun. That would have been sick. I think that would have been awesome.
Snyder was so excited about Max Porter's ray gun was that they needed something that looked out of place in the gloomy battlefields of World War II. Yep. Here in Black Ops 3, the ray gun felt a bit left out in the cold. This was made worse by a rather strange...
I don't know why people always make that argument on Garad, though. Like, everybody's always saying, like, Garad is too crazy. Like, doesn't that attest to how good of a map it is? I don't get that shit.
Whether it's a bug or an error in how they designed its animations, they seemingly forgot to give it walking animations, which means the Black Ops 3 ray gun is always frozen on the screen, animationless when moving. This was a low point for the ray gun of Call of Duty, but all was not lost.
But yeah, there is no
its younger brother was added to Black Ops 3 in the acclaimed Zombie Chronicles DLC, a map containing HD remakes of past
the Mark
II
on
and
Chronicles.
experiences. The ray gun Mark II of Black Ops 3 is an excellent little love letter to the original, featuring
literally better than the
textures,
version in
modeling,
BO4
and
somehow.
even new details in its animations, such as the way energy can be seen arcing between the spines on the back of the weapon when you fire. Amusingly, Treyarch didn't fix the third-person pistol stance for it, but given the fact they forgot to give the ray gun a walk animation, I think it's forgivable here with the Mark II. The DLC map Gorod Krovi even saw a Russian-made successor to the ray gun, the ray gun Mark III. It's held in the player's right hand, while the left hand...
But, like, that's the thing, chat. The Mark III does not look like the ray gun. If you were to show me before the Mark III came out and said, this is the Mark III, I'd be like, it doesn't look like it.
It's called the GKZ-45. Together, these two are an attempt by the Soviet Union to improve upon the Axis powers as ray gun models. It features a heavy, atomic sci-fi art style. And
looks like a prototype. Yeah, I agree.
It's a fantastic weapon with the ability to fling energy mines from the left hand while the right hand can be used to collapse that mine into a black hole. The ray gun of Black Ops 3 was a bit of a punching bag for YouTubers at the time, given a bad rap by the echo chambers that can form in various communities. But everyone has their own.
But the thing is like, chat, one in the chat, if you just didn't use the ray gun at all. I also accidentally just skipped so far, but I did not use the regular ray gun at all in BO3. Like, it was literally, it's worse than a bullet gun. It's worse than a bullet gun because of double pap. So that is why the ray gun needed double pap. And it needed something unique to itself, right? And here we go, boys. This is where it goes downhill.
The story of Black Ops 4 is a hard one to read about. Its development was quite scrambled and
and it's an even harder one to live through, bro.
It's organized, which led to a lot of last-minute crunch, burnout, and compromising in its gameplay direction. The game we got was ultimately successful, but it's regarded as...
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
...as one of Treyarch's messier titles by the Call of Duty community.
I don't think... Chat, was Black Ops 4 a success or a failure? That's an interesting question for someone to ask, but I think it's dependent on the person.
Speaking of, sadly, being messy, let's talk about the Black Ops 4 ray gun. Off the bat, the ray gun of Black Ops 4 is a noticeable...
it's a noticeable downgrade. Like, look how many, like, less textures there are. It's just more red than all of what you can see on it. I think for sure BO4 ray gun is my least favorite. Not just because they actually switched the mechanics of it, but just because it looks bad.
Great over Black Ops 3. Not only did Treyarch remember to give it a walking animation this time, the animations themselves have been redone. Much of the jank and
it just looks better though.
Sloppiness was thrown out, and the new animations give the ray gun a sense of weight in the player's hands. It's powerful too. And
the thing is, I also didn't like the BO4 ray gun animation because it's longer than the BO3 ones. So.
The new health model for the zombies keeping it somewhat relevant into the high rounds, it's actually exciting to pull one out of the box. But there's an issue in the form of the specialist weapons. In Black Ops 4 Zombies, all players have access to pocket wonder weapons that regenerate their energy over time after use. Players also customize the perks they can have access to prior to playing maps, as well as the attachments of all guns available. Players are more powerful than before, therefore zombies have to be more aggressive than before. And there's this power escalation, so that means that weapons such as the ray gun, if they can't kill nearly as fast as your unlimited ammo specialist weapons, they're going to be left in the dust, and that's unfortunately what happened to the Black Ops 4 ray gun. This was, on paper, a great incarnation of the weapon, but its potential was hard to realize in the game flow of Black Ops 4, really only being able to shine in the game's Blackout Battle Royale mode when found by players. It can also be found in the game's rather underwhelming HQ missions when the recon class is given one to defend against a horde of zombies. Interestingly, this ray gun is missing certain particle effects and it lacks its full ammo capabilities.
Chat, what is this?
The core gameplay
loop
of Black Ops 4 gave the ray gun a hard time. But it's not all bad, because in something that's becoming a bit of a pattern, its younger brother got quite a lot of love. On the map Alpha Omega, a variety of ray gun
Chat, ray gun, I'm just going to say this, ray gun Mark II or the Alpha Omega ray gun Mark II. I don't know what it is about Alpha Omega, but it's like whenever I hear or experience or play or listen to anything about that map, it's just like somebody just gave me melatonin and I just fucking pass out, you know? I think the Alpha Omega Mark IIs are cool. However, Alpha Omega, I mean, that's just the problem there, isn't it?
Mark II variants can be crafted by players, each one themed around a specific element. They take quite a bit of checklisting to get done.
They are the best thing about the
map. They're a lot of fun to mess around with.
Yeah,
and want to know the best part? Treyarch remembered to fix the third-person animations. Black Ops 4 may be the weakest Treyarch title in their
I mean, damn, really? They waited all the way until Alpha Omega. That do be rough.
Development history, but it did its best to give the ray gun a bit more of a presence. As per usual, though, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
I have to say though, chat, his viewpoint on the BO4 ray gun being an upgrade from the BO3 one, in my opinion, to me, is actually insane. I don't see that, and I don't see how it makes sense. I do agree with his Alpha Omega point though, but I don't agree with the upgrade. And he also forgot to mention that in BO4, they switched it so that it works better when you shoot the ray gun in the head rather than the feet, which is such a strange design choice that they did for some reason on BO4. I don't know why, but I mean, it just is the way it is. And then Cold War though, ooh, this is it. This is where the ray gun peaks,
Call of Duty
man.
Mobile
For
Zombies mode, the ray gun was mostly dormant until 2020, when the next Treyarch Call of Duty game, Black Ops
Shout out to Cold War
released. Following the reception to Black Ops 4, the Zombies mode of Cold War made a conscious choice to focus more on accessibility and streamlining. It was a bit of a rebirth for the mode. Gone was the overly complicated Doctor Who-style plot that characterized
Cerberus or ray gun, I love the Cerberus, man.
And in was something.
So you know what's funny? Cerberus feels more like a ray gun Mark III or a Mark IV or Mark V or whatever the fuck with the Ray K to me than all that other shit. All the Mark III, the Ray K, it feels more like a ray gun upgrade because it literally is a ray gun that's just fully auto. You know what I mean?
More grounded and understandable in comparison. The mechanics also saw redesigns.
I wish Cold War had a Mark II.
Focus back
I mean, could be added in year 2.
Surviving waves
we'll have to see. Especially, Chad, if Victus is going to come back, I would say, I mean, the Mark II was a staple of Chronicles 1. I think for sure if they do add a Chronicles 2, you bet your ass you're going to see the ray gun Mark II.
The developers talked quite a bit about the ray gun's importance to zombies and their desire to return it to its glory days. Treyarch had a lot of talk, and their confidence paid off when players got their hands on this
one in the chat if you like the Cold War upgrade
that
they
Cold
did.
War received quite an upgrade.
I love this upgrade. I think they
much better materials,
just changed the whole
stronger
game.
damage model and speed to its
the ray gun on Cold War is
It's one of the strongest weapons of the game and a must-have for high round runs. In order to give it a sense of importance again, Treyarch made it much harder to pull from the box.
Gameplay, boys. Zoo gameplay.
Setting, it stands out against the historic ballistic weapons of the Cold War for the first time in years. Possibly a decade. The ray gun was properly back. It was a celebrated return, and many fans regard it as one of the best iterations of the ray gun. In Treyarch fashion, there is a mistake made in the ray gun's animations. This time with the inspect animation. Due to a bug, the playback animation speed is doubled. making it appear fast-forwarded. The ammo battery can also be seen poking out of the gun. Look, that's it right there. Kind of a bizarre
I don't see it.
That's really
I don't. Oh, it just
Black
popped
Ops
out.
Cold War is an honorable veneration of the series' most iconic weapon.
I mean,
it's
guess.
one that fit perfectly.
I will say though, chat, the inspect animation for the ray gun, that inspect, I'm gonna have to say it's an L. It's fucking weak. The Cerberus and all ZC2 maps, that would be sick.
The new gameplay rhythms of the mode and a lot of care clearly went into reigniting a flame that some in the zombies community were worried went out. It can be found in the mystery box on all maps except Firebase Z. It can be obtained via an Easter egg on D Machine.
Shout out to Firebase Z!
It can sometimes be looted from chests or picked up off the body of a rare zombie that can be found wandering around named Ronald Reagan.
Hell yeah, dude. But yeah, dude, no, it's seriously. The Inspect is an L. Yeah, Inspect's had so much potential for a lot of guns, but they missed the mark. I agree. The ray gun,
the latest entry.
You don't want to fuck up the ray gun Inspect. Like, I think the Dies Inspect were shit, but at least they were better than the ray gun. The ray gun Inspect is literally this. It's just, it's too fast, you know? Bro, who cares? I mean, bro, when you're like, dude, literally, we're watching a video about all of this, so fucking tell me. Bro.
Made on a very short development cycle, and in the 2000s.
Chat, this is where shit goes down bad. F in the chat, boys, for this. Call of Duty Vanguard ray gun, no mega low.
19 Modern Warfare game engine. The game attempts to combine the tactical operator vibe of Modern Warfare with the pulp action of World War II adventure stories to mixed results. The Treyarch was brought into the game's development cycle when they lent a hand in crafting Vanguard's
when
Zombies
Sledgehammer
mode.
Games was fucking on the way out the door. Fam.
Vanguard Zombies changed the iconic wave-based formula quite a bit, reimagining zombies as an objective attack mode with portal.
I'm gonna be honest, chat. I shit on this mode all the time, and I don't play it just because I don't want to support Activision. I genuinely want to know, is there even one homie in the chat, one human being that still plays Vanguard Zombies at all? One human being. One in the chat if that's you, two in the chat if it isn't. Because I'm a tour, okay?
That brought players to mini-games they could complete. This new direction for the Zombies mode was largely rejected by the vocal Zombies community for how far it deviated from the mode's root.
I think it was just rejected in general, man. I feel like everybody that played this did not like it. Like I said, I don't know many people that actually ended up liking this mode. Like, almost nobody I know, actually.
And without a way to just play classic survival, the anger only got worse. There was a complete lack of ray gun and other things, such as pack-a-punch camos, Easter eggs, and a bundle of other omissions. And it gave off the vibe that the mode was poorly conceived and just rushed out the door. To the developers' credit, the ray gun was eventually added, but only after months of waiting. For the tired and bored Zombies community,
or some
this
shit.
ray gun return was met rather coldly and without much fanfare. It was too little too late, and the mode never really recovered, unfortunately. You'd be surprised then to learn that the ray gun of Vanguard Zombies isn't bad at all. In fact, it's one of
I've heard very different, but okay.
the best weapons in the mode,
well,
being a must-have for those trying to complete objectives on higher world ranks. Thanks to Vanguard running on the more technically advanced Modern Warfare game engine, the ray gun itself positively
so much
pops
recoil.
With excellent material work and animations. The inspect playback speed was even
it looks good.
Doesn't look fast-forwarded.
It looks pretty good.
In traditional ray gun fashion, though, there are a couple of mistakes. The battery on the inspect...
Like, I like the graphic textures of it, but yeah, the animations are a little bit...
The animation is still sticking out of the gun.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah, it's literally the exact same.
That's not invisible.
Dude, that literally shows that they just copied and pasted the animations from BO4, and that took them 6 months. Chat, could you imagine clicking Control-C and Control-V and it takes you 6 months? That's fucking insane, bro. I mean, that's work to Activision, bro.
We can see that. Okay, nitpicks over. Due to all Call of Duty developers now being shifted over to the Modern Warfare game engine, Treyarch's next game will no doubt be a technical upgrade. The Vanguard version of the ray...
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it here. The next Call of Duty game, the ray gun is going to be iconic, just like in Cold War. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I think they're gonna find a way yet again to make it iconic again. Hands up. I'm saying it. Fuck it. That's the way it really gonna
is
be
a peek into how a ray gun might feel in Treyarch's next Call of Duty game. It wasn't enough to redeem the Vanguard Zombies mode for Legacy Zombies players, but for those who do enjoy Vanguard Zombies, it's a welcome inclusion. But what do you think of it?
I mean, I've yet to use the ray gun in Vanguard because I don't think I will ever load it up. So I will never really know how it works, but I just don't give a shit. And chat, I hope Treyarch continues to cancel all their fucking updates on Vanguard and put it into Cold War, a game that people actually like. Drake's in the chat, boys.
It's such a standout.
But this is a great video.
Really well done. It began life as a simple art project and took on a greater level of importance to the brand when the Zombies mode was a critical hit. We all have our favorite version of the ray gun, and we all have that memory when we first got it from the box, hearing our friends excitedly yell. And what would you like the next Evolution video to be on? Feel free to share the video around, and a special thank you to the channel members for keeping Late Night Gaming afloat, and a big thank you to folks in the Monkey Bomb such as Jay
honestly, the Monkey Bomb, figuring out like how the Monkey Bomb evolved from World at War, that's actually also a great video because Cold War changed the Monkey Bomb and made it amazing. You know, but BL3 did as well. I would love to see the Monkey Bomb or the perks.
All of you guys are awesome. And for the rest of you. Okay, quick edit. I was gonna try the Nazi Zombies bye-bye laugh, but it just sounded awful. So, I don't know, man. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Damn. Hey, that's a good one too. The M1911s. Well, I gotta watch these, boys. Let me know if I should do more of these.